Inspired by the hit TV show Shark Tank, this competition features 4 teams of local entrepreneurs pitching their business ideas to a panel of celebrity judges to compete for thousands of dollars in cash and prizes. This year's judges include Jamie Siminoff, inventor of the first Wi-Fi doorbell system Ring, and guest shark on the TV show. Elin Hilderbrand, New York Times best-selling author of over 25 novels set in Nantucket. And Bruce Percelay, chairman and founder of the Mount Vernon Group and publisher of In Magazine and Current.
Ladies and gentlemen, our MC tonight is Primetime Emmy Award-winning actor, director, writer, and producer. His romantic thriller, Grey Lady, the feature film he directed on Nantucket, is streaming internationally and distributed by Lionsgate. Please welcome to the stage John Shea.
Hey, Nantucket, judges, everybody, hey, welcome. Welcome all to the Dreamland, where dreams come true, right? The 3rd annual pitch competition is brought to you by NICE, the Nantucket Island Center for Entrepreneurship. Okay, and it's an amazing program that's brought to us by the Nantucket Chamber of Commerce. And we thank everybody there for doing that, particularly Karen McCumber, who's hiding behind the scenes right now. Karen! So I'm John Shea. I'm so happy to come back as your MC this year because it is post-COVID. We don't have to wear masks. We're kind of free to breathe and be who we really are. Entrepreneurship, where does that come from? All right, Ellen, you're the writer. Come on, words. Entrepreneur, it sounds vaguely French, and you're right, it is, because I looked it up, okay? And like the King of Prussia in the 17th century told his generals to feed the army, and if they couldn't get the food, to find an entrepreneur. That is somebody who goes between the army and the food and brings it to them. They are go-getters, right? There's go-getters on this stage. There's go-getters out here. You're going to meet 4 go-getters tonight. They're people who make things happen. They take a chance to do it. It's, like war out there sometimes, right? We may be a small island, but we generate big ideas. Don't forget, this is where the Macy's came from. This is where the Starbucks came from, and the Folgers came from. The biggest whaling industry in the history of the world. We are one of the best resorts now in 2022 in the world. And so tonight, we're going to have 4 people come and present their ideas for you, but they were taken from, a lot of people who applied this year. And we were going to hear from 2 of our winners from last year. You're going to catch up and see how they're doing and progressing with their businesses. I guarantee you're going to be inspired by it. This year we had a record number of applicants, a very competitive selection process. It was narrowed down to 4 finalists, and we're quite serious, all of them, am I right, about starting their business, growing their business, and in many cases on a national scale. So they were chosen on the strength of their ideas and the vision they had to bring those ideas out to the public. All right, tonight they're going to have 15 minutes to share their vision with you and with us. And they're going to answer some tough questions from our shark judges. All the teams, after all the teams have pitched, the judges will make their decisions about who wins what. And then we will unveil our prizes. The sharks remind me of the shark. Did you see the shark as you came in the lobby? Okay, that was made from another entrepreneur, my sister-in-law. That's Heather McLeod. She made those sharks to work out there tonight. She's the master of something called projection mapping. So just a shout out to Heather. Thank you for that. Of course, some of our finalists, they all had some help. Each finalist was paired with an incredible coach who are successful in their own right, and they work for many hours to help hone the pitch and the business plans behind the pitches. I heard there's a bunch of competition going on between the judges because everybody wants to win. Hugh's team won last year. I want you to give us a round of applause for the 4 judges, for 4 coaches this year. There's Hugh Davis, Steve Fleck, Jeff Corey, and Rob Schicchetti. Thank you, four guys, so much for your help. Great. All right, so let's get to the fun part, okay, the prize money. So thanks to the generosity of these sponsors, take a look at their names, okay? Individual donors here. We have $20,000 in cash prizes to give away tonight. A grand prize of $10,000, a runner-up prize of $5,000, and two second runner-up prizes of $2,500 each. You can do the math. We got 4 contestants. We got 4 winners. No one walks away from here tonight without taking a prize home. So it's time to meet now our esteemed panel of judges. So here, the handsome guy on the far upstage side, that's my old friend Bruce Percelay. Bruce Percelay has been coming to Nantucket, am I right, Bruce, since you were 5 years old? Has become deeply involved in the island life. Bruce is the founder and the publisher of N magazine, right, and Current. And he owns 21 Broad and 76 Main, which are 2 of the coolest and most popular hotels on Nantucket. He's also the owner and the chairman of the Mount Vernon Company, right, which is one of Boston's largest private landlords and fastest growing hotel developers. Bruce, thank you for taking your time out to come here tonight. Thank you, Bruce. The rose between these 2 thorns, that's Elin Hilderbrand. Elin is, a Nantucketer. We know this about her. She is the #1 New York Times best-selling author of, are you ready? 28 novels, right? That's. She's not that old. She started writing in utero. It's unbelievable. The most recent of which is a smash hit called The Hotel Nantucket. It might be a hotel that you might want to acquire, Bruce, you know? She's the graduate of Johns Hopkins University and the University of Iowa Writers Workshop, where a lot of great writers go to study. She's the mother of 3 Nantucket natives. She lived on Nantucket year-round since 1993. She's also a 7-year breast cancer survivor. She's a friend of mine. We're happy to see Elin tonight. Jamie Siminoff is a lifelong inventor, and he has a home here too. And Jamie created the world's first Wi-Fi video doorbell, okay? Then called the Doorbot. And while working in his garage, I'd like to find out where that garage was, by the way, in 2011. In 2013, Jamie pitched the Doorbot to NBC's hit show, the original Shark Tank, but walked away without a deal. Well, we all know what happened after that, right? In 2014, the Ring was brought to market and then sold to Amazon, where it continues to be, are you ready for this, the most trusted, customer-first, whole home security company in America. Jamie is an entrepreneur. He's the first entrepreneur to go from pitching to the Sharks to being one himself. We thank you for being with us again this year and for giving us your time. Thank you so much, Jamie. So, let's kick off our show the right way, all right? Let's take a look at last year's winners. That was that fantastic potato chip, do you remember, called Nantucket Crisps. And let's find out what they're doing now. Let's watch the video.
I'm Hayden Arnott.
And I'm Sarah Jemison.
And we are
Nantucket Crisps.
Well, in the last year, a lot has happened. When we went into the Shark Tank competition, we had some graphic design files of what our bags would look like. We had a demo chip, and that was it. As soon as we won, everyone on the island was saying, we can't wait for Nantucket Crisps to come out. And Sarah and I looked at each other and we're like, I think we actually have to do this and quit our jobs and make this a main focus. So we spent all fall, winter, spring, like working hard away, creating different flavors, finishing up all the packaging, working with a great co-packer, and creating an amazing chip that we, launched over Daffodil Weekend.
The support was amazing. The energy, like I said, was incredible. So we showed up to the parade with all of our chips and our displays.
Yeah, and the thing is, we tried the chips, we had the packaging, and we had the whole product, but we were so uncertain. It was until that point we're like, I think we like it, but is this actually gonna work? And then finally hearing all these reactions of people saying, oh my God, this is the best chip ever, or, which I love to hear, this is better than Cape Cod chips. That was just a valid, verified everything for us. And I remember one of the first accounts we got into, Meat and Fish, we dropped off some samples, and then they said they'd get back to us. We got a phone call 40 minutes later saying, Yep. We're going to be dropping our Deep River brand and bringing you on Your Sweet Onion's Better. And we're like, we did it. Like, it was that moment we're like, I think we're going to be okay, because the sweet onion chip was what we were like, our favorite flavor. And the fact that we nailed that was pretty amazing.
We're in about 30 stores on island. Bartlett's, Highline, Provisions are some of our biggest customers. And then off island, we're in about 70.
So yeah, like Vermont has been a really good state for us. Massachusetts has been great. Connecticut, New York. In New York City, we're actually in some pretty prestigious accounts, such as like Butterfield, Eli Zabar's, West Side Market. And then in Boston, we're in American Provisions, Pemberton Gardens, Cobblestones, DeLuca's, Volante Farms. It's been pretty great. We're actually even at a ski resort in Stowe, Vermont, which is owned by Hilton, which is pretty cool. And actually on top of that, thanks to Sarah, a couple weeks ago, we were actually placed on the Hornblower cruises in Boston. So yeah, we've sold over 100,000 bags of chips thus far, and we're still growing.
Yeah, we have a lot of crazy ideas, of course, but something that's on the roadmap and expected to launch next month is our new flavor, inspired by the Turkey Terrific sandwich that we all love. It's going to be called Stuffing Terrific, and it has more savory flavors because our chips are more on the sweet side, and this flavor is like the rosemary, thyme, chicken broth. It will be all dairy-free, gluten-free, but it's a really delicious.
All right, here is the winner, Nantucket Crisps.
The judges selecting us really gave us that confidence to go forward and, put all of our eggs in that basket and make our dream a reality. I think one of our tips for this year's finalists is, what you're really trying to pitch here is you're trying to pitch something that someone wants to actually invest in and will see some type of return. That's the point of it all. So when you're crafting your pitch, make sure it's a way that it's a proper investment where whoever the judges are, they can see a return, because that's important. If I were gonna put in my 10 cents into something, what would it be? And make sure that angle is there. And make sure, find a way to have it be scalable, I think.
My tip of advice for anyone going into the pitch competition is to truly just have fun. We were definitely nervous, took it very seriously, but in hindsight, it's a really fun event. The energy is amazing once you're on stage, and the support from, the people that helped us, like Karen, the judges, and everyone in the crowd. You realize that this is a really exciting opportunity, so just have fun.
Yeah, and don't forget to throw in a couple jokes in your pitch, because that goes a long way. Humor really wins over people.
All right. They're making me hungry. I don't know about you. I could have some of those chips right now. So that's Hayden and Sarah. Let's find out about this year. Okay, who's going to win? Let's find out. Let's start. So we're going to start with Santi. Okay, Santi Sherrill, an aspiring entrepreneur with a unique approach to, and I'm going to read this, creating a sparkling kombucha cocktail through his new company called Ocean Brew. Let's watch the video about Santi.
Hi everyone, my name is James Sherrill, but most people know me by my nickname, Santi. And I'm the creator of Nantucket Ocean Brew, a ready-to-drink cocktail made from June kombucha, premium spirits, and organic flavors. So I first came to Nantucket when I was in 8th grade to visit family and really fell in love with the island. But it wasn't until 2012 when my husband and I decided to get married here that we really fell in love with the community. And just a few 9 months after the wedding, we packed up our 2 cars, decided to move here full-time, year-round, and have absolutely loved every moment of it since then. Growing up in Wisconsin, we didn't have any oceans. We had a big lake, but my husband and I were both really inspired by the beauty and the power of an ocean. And that sort of clinched the deal when we came and we visited and we got married here. We just really loved the energy that the ocean brought, and we were really drawn to that. And I wanted to find a way to incorporate that into the business in some way. And through its name, Ocean Brew, although spelled slightly differently, really brings that in and brings that passion and power that we felt when we got married here. My grandma was a home ec teacher for 26 years at the local high school, and she taught me everything there was to know about being in the kitchen. And that really sort of spurred my love of creative recipes and is what sort of inspired my dedication to look at, a June recipe or kimchi or kombuchas or sourdoughs. And it's just sort of the fun of being in the kitchen came from my grandma. And if we go into the kitchen, you'll see the notepad that I take all of my recipes on is actually the small business that my grandfather owned. It was a construction company in Wisconsin, and that sort of is an inspiration to me when I'm trudging along through a new recipe to look at the name and see, he was able to grow a small business into a successful company, and I just really love that about my grandfather and my grandmother and how they inspired me. Fermented foods really was interesting to me, and I know they sound a little bit weird and strange. You talk about kimchi and kombucha, but the chemistry and the food component of it was so interesting. And I came across a recipe for June, which is fermented with green tea and local Nantucket honey, instead of the traditional kombucha, which is black tea and sugar. And the moment I had a sip of it, I knew it would be delicious in a cocktail, and that's really where the idea of Ocean Brew was born. I think when I was developing the business, and I have sort of its future in mind, is a way to give back to the community, whether it's through work with a nonprofit or working with other small businesses. I think it would be great to have a product like this and a business that I'm so passionate about be part of the Nantucket small business community. And I would really want to use it to, support others when they have supported me so much. If I were to win the pitch competition, I would absolutely love to be able to take the business to the next step, which is really around getting a pilot production in place and getting the federal requirements for labeling and testing sort of out of the way so that I could get it into the hands of more consumers and understand their feedback, what they like about it, what they might want changed. And that's been the hold up until this point. It's sort of been a home brew at this point, and we want to move it into the Ocean Brew commercialization portion of the business. Really it is being part of the community, continuing to be part of the community, and being able to give back are the really sort of vital mission and vision type things that I think about when I think about Ocean Brew. It's delicious.
Okay, let's welcome Santi Sharel.
Hi everyone, hi judges. My name is Santi, the creator of Nantucket Ocean Brew. And I don't know if you're like me, but you're at the beach and you put your hand into the cooler only to find the same old boring hard seltzers, beer and wine, or drinks full of sugar. The health-conscious cocktail consumer is ready for something different, is ready for Nantucket Ocean Brew. Crafted in Nantucket, Ocean Brew is a ready-to-drink June kombucha cocktail that is bubbly, balanced, and a healthier alcohol alternative that is low-calorie, low-carb, and full of antioxidants and probiotics. But what is June, you may be asking? June is similar to kombucha, sort of like kombucha's cousin, but it's made with local Nantucket honey and organic green tea instead of black tea and sugar used in traditional kombucha. These ingredients are then slowly fermented with live cultures to produce a crisp, golden drink with champagne-like fizz, filled with lots of healthy things to keep you feeling great. Carefully blending the June with premium alcohol and organic juices creates Ocean Brew cocktails with 7 to 9% alcohol and the perfect alternative to hard seltzers, beer, and wine. Creating unique and delicious ways to bring family and friends together has been part of my life since I was a child. And that carried with me into the creation of this beverage. Ocean Brew, like Nantucket, should create an atmosphere that makes you feel a sense of connection to its local ingredients, as well as one another. Whether it's a way to start a conversation, enjoy a meal, or rekindle a friendship, it's about using food and drinks to bring people together. By the way, it can also be used for a fun day at the beach at Nobadeer or a late night at the Chicken Box. Part of the mission and vision of Nantucket Ocean Brew is to use local products whenever possible. starting with the locally sourced honey used in the production of the June. Additionally, a percentage of profits would go to the Community Foundation to support Nantucket in the environment that embraces the island and people that we love. Here are just a few organizations that the Community Foundation's Nantucket Fund supported in 2022. It is critically important to me that Nantucket Ocean Brew be part of the entrepreneurial spirit of the island that I've always admired when I moved here 9 years ago. And I would intend to use this business to advocate for solutions to some of the island's toughest problems. The connection to the spirit of Nantucket is essential to the product and its success. Initially targeting the Nantucket consumer looking for a healthier glass of fun, phase 1 of production will be local and small scale to gain customer feedback and proof of concept. Partnering with experts will help guide me through this initial phase and serve as a learning opportunity as further scalability and production methods are researched. The price point for Nantucket Ocean Brew will be in line with other premium, ready-to-drink beverages, coming in at about $3.75 per can. You can think of High Noons, Fisher Island Lemonade, or I'm sure a whole bunch of others. Some regular kombucha, without alcohol, can be priced upwards of almost $5. Initial flavors will include tequila-based January Sunshine, vodka-based Crew Brew, and champagne-based Beach Bubbles. But more to come on this when our judges get to try a sample in just a couple minutes. Phase 2 of production would include the opportunity to expand to other markets outside of Nantucket and further develop additional recipes and flavors. Non-alcoholic June flavors will also be explored in parallel to phase 1. And here are just a few things that have been said about Ocean Brew along the way for some of the creations that my friends have had to try. Refreshing, vibrant, fizzy and fun, great for the beach. And now onto the tasting. Our judge is going to get to try 3 different flavors that we have here for you today. And I will try not to spill them on the way out. So we'll start with Miss Elin. Just a couple more here. I'm doing good so far. Yeah. And last but not least, Bruce, here you go.
Do them like shots or we drink it?
I would suggest not like shots, but if it's really what you want, I'm not going to hold you back. So if you actually start on the left with the beach bubbles, the beach bubble, yep, exactly. It's created with champagne, June, and yuzu. It's perfectly bubbly, bright notes of citrus, and a must for summer beach days. I was inspired to make this by the shimmering bioluminescence of August on Steps Beach and the beauty of the ocean that surrounds Nantucket. The second one we have for you today in the center is January Sunshine. This is a cocktail of June, tequila, and lime with notes of pineapple and a hint of honey. This is perfect to get you through the ups and downs in the start of summer. January, many of you probably have heard that term if you've lived or visited here in June, but it's June plus January, and it can be a terrible month for weather. And this drink will be sure to brighten your January day. And last but not least is the Crew Brew. This is blended from June, vodka, hibiscus, lemon, and ginger. It's refreshing, bright, and great for a party with friends and family. This was created from the Nantucket vibe that comes from connecting family and friends to the island through food, drinks, fun, and love. And I welcome any questions you may have for me.
So I have a question. Okay, first of all, I just want to say, you guys, these two, absolutely the most delicious things I've ever tasted.
Thank you.
It's weird because you would think, because I'm me, that I would really love the champagne. The champagne is good, but these two are absolutely extraordinary. Can you talk a little bit about how you're going to source the alcohol? So what I didn't understand, which now I do understand, is that the June is not the actual alcohol.
Correct.
So the June is just a mixer. So how are you going to source the alcohol for these drinks?
Yep, absolutely. So I have a few different possible scenarios. One would be to partner with someone who already distills vodka and tequila and use that as partnership to help produce this product. There's other opportunities to source, commercially available grain-neutral spirits, which is basically like vodkas, and you can do tequilas and things sort of at a larger volume. So I think I'll have to see which direction it takes. Probably local and small scale. There might be some business partnering opportunities that would work out really well, but we'll have to sort of see where that goes.
So I've got a few questions. First of all, I agree. These two are terrific. The champagne's a little on the dry side. But number one, I'm surprised you aren't going a little deeper with the Nantucket branding. Nantucket, the Nantucket crisps, they may be great potato chips. It really may not even matter. The Nantucket brand is so powerful.
They are. Just say they are great potato chips.
They
they are.
And I'm just wondering, you've done the hard part. You're sourcing local ingredients, but I don't see it in the logo. I don't see it in the branding. And on a national basis, Nantucket means a lot. So I'm just curious as to why you haven't gone that direction.
I've sort of dug into that, and it's still sort of on the plate as a possible opportunity, to further that Nantucket connection. I think there are some ideas that I have in place that, some of the names tie back, but not as, overtly as, some of the other Nantucket branding options. But I think there's a way to tie some of the names and the brand. I would love to tie it to the stories. That's really what I love about Nantucket. There's lots of brands that use sort of famous Nantucket landmarks as names. I would like to find the Nantucket stories to tie it to the product. And that's where some of the inspiration came from. But I agree it could dig further into that and make that connection stronger to Nantucket.
Yeah, and I actually agree with Bruce. I don't like to, but I do.
It's in your best interest.
Yeah. Because when you get out, the Nantucket brand is so strong, and in retail and things, there's hundreds and thousands of things you're selling against, and so that cuts through. I do like Ocean. I think it's interesting, like how you spelled it and did it. I think it's a cool brand. So that's and I also agree that it's great. I don't know it dry and champagne. I'm not that fancy, but I thought it was good as well. So. I guess my question is on the business. So I know there's a lot of regulations and things to get, and you kind of went over it quickly. So what do you need to get to be able to sell this, say, just in Nantucket? What's the step to get there?
So first step would be getting a approval for the commercial recipe through the federal TTB and the labeling. Then after that is the sort of state level licensing to do the blending, the canning, and put together. So those are sort of the steps I have in place. I have a few different sources that have been helping me through that process. There's a consulting company, BevSource in Minneapolis, who's been helping guide me through some of the ins and outs of that, because there's a lot of paperwork and formalities. And then just recently, Boston Beer, they have a sort of director of innovation, was able to connect with her, and she's getting me some information about the legalities from their legal team to help out, get through that process, because it will take a bit of time and is the sort of biggest mountain in front of me at the moment.
So you see this in cans?
I do see it in cans, but producing it at home in bottles, I actually like the cute
Yeah,
bottles.
the bottles are so cute. And also, are you thinking only single-size servings, or are you thinking large format? Because this is so delicious. It's so delicious. It really is.
I do have the idea of a large format, 750 mils, like a wine bottle, because it could be fun, sort of celebratory, and a way, to bring to the beach, and you have it for friends. That's absolutely something that I've, thought quite a bit about.
One of the issues with live cultures is the shelf life of these things. It's obviously already fermenting, but have you looked into the challenges of the shelf life of these things? Because you buy a can of Budweiser and it can be passed down from generations and it's still good. But something like this is not going to last that long.
Yeah, so there has been quite a bit of research done. I've done a lot of research, and there are ways to keep the healthy parts of the bacteria without having it be unstable on the shelf. So they do that through a series of, I won't bore you with the details, but it can be done, and it's just a series of filtration where they filter out the yeast component, because there's a yeast bacteria component. They filter out the yeast component that continues fermenting in the bottle and keep the healthy bacteria, so it becomes shelf stable and won't explode as it's being transported around.
Right, and there's a little bit of a contradiction here. It's like having carrot juice with vodka.
Yeah, right.
And so does the alcohol kill the culture? I mean, how do they
So at a certain
relate
point,
to each
yes. At these levels, no. But if I got to a much higher alcohol percentage, then it would start to decrease the health benefits of the good bacteria. So keeping that range is important. I wouldn't get up into the 13, 14, 15%.
I must say that the concept of getting buzzed and it being healthy at the same time is pretty attractive.
I still thought wine was doing that for me, but what is the percentage right now of alcohol?
Yep, so the middle one, the tequila one, is the highest alcohol, and that's 9%. And then the Crew Brew.
I like Nantucket. It's fun.
It is so good.
The Crew Brew with the hibiscus is the second one, and that's about 6.75. And then the champagne is just slightly under that.
And what is a beer? I don't know.
So like a Miller Lite is about 2.5%.
Oh.
Some of the hard seltzers usually hover around 4.5 to 5.
Oh.
So these have a little more kick than some of those other beverages do.
They really are good.
Well, I'm going to put these right behind you for the.
And so, but you think timing-wise, you think you could be selling some sort of format? It would be like grocery, and you're not going to be like in bars, right? It'd be selling more of the bottles.
Exactly. I would look at the retailers that exist locally to start with. I think there's about 55 different accounts right now on Nantucket alone, so we'd start there and would start in bottles. There is a concept out there that you can keg this and you can have it on draft, which would be sort of interesting and fun in certain scenarios. So those ideas are out there. Working with this consulting company, estimates would be 10 months from now to get through the process, get at least a small pilot production in place that we could get it out to some of the local retailers and get it in the hands of consumers.
I will say, we all know this, that Cisco Brewers started exactly like this, right? It was a home brewing kit, and now look at them, right? So do you have a vision of growing beyond what you're talking about?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think where I'm at now is use this as a learning opportunity, get this off the ground, and then it would be fantastic to have it, grow and, become part of, sort of everyday grocery stores. That would be amazing. I have a lot of learning to do. This experience itself has been incredible and eye-opening, so I think, continuing down this path is, sort of where I want to go, and hopefully I get to where I want to be.
Well, it's really good, so we hope you get there. So, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
James Santi Sherrill. What about Nantucket Ocean Brew? I mean, I'm just saying, it's awesome. The judges like it. That's a good sign, brother. Now I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. All right, so next is somebody really very different with a completely different vision, but also for Nantucket. This is an accomplished business owner, a woman who wants to make a real difference by providing a way for builders and homeowners to reclaim and to reuse the historic salvaged material in their homes or businesses, okay? So please, let's meet Michelle Kolb and learn more about her plans for Salvage Nantucket. Let's watch the video.
Hi, I'm Michelle Kolb. I'm a practicing architect and I hold a master's in historic preservation. My concept is called Salvage Nantucket, and it's really about retaining, recovering, and diverting as much of the historic material from landfill. I have 4 boys. After the first one, we came here, and we came every summer. I had the opportunity of buying a 1747, basically fisherman's cottage on Union Street. And that was the first project I did here. I had been doing a lot of historic renovation in New York. I had done a lot of townhouses, and just historic houses really been my passion in architecture. So this 1890 house had these beautiful crystal knobs and skeleton locks, and I could not find a skeleton key on this island. So I was able to actually find the skeleton key, but I had to find the skeleton key on 83rd and 3rd in New York City. And that to me was inherently wrong. And so since then, I've always had this idea of this warehouse facility where you could catalog the merchandise. So the idea would be that as a professional, you'd go in and actually identify and even rank the quality of the heritage material and the resources there, and have the contractors tag them and have the contractors actually bring them to the warehouse, and then they'd get cataloged. They'd also get ranked in terms of their level of highest integrity to, lowest 0 being no integrity, but, is something that is worth salvageable. So that's the Salvage Nantucket concept. And from a sustainability point of view, it's key and critical. I mean, we have a single stream dumping here on the island instead of a circular concept where, it gets resalvaged, restyled, reused. And that was the heritage of the island originally anyway. Nothing would go to waste on the island. I mean, everything was repurposed, and it is an inherent mindset of the people here. So if I won, I would do a tour of some of the caves. There are other cities that have done salvage facilities, and I tour those and learn from those. Clearly, the budget of doing Salvage Nantucket is substantially more than what the prize money might be. But I think the first step is for myself to get further educated in it. And I would see the space being actually, if not just a dirty, unorganized warehouse, I'd see it as a great environment to actually do lectures and to have experts come in and talk about the materials and what they mean and the integrity of it, and really make it a fun space for people to get educated, in addition to certainly students, of course, and preservation students. You actually could bring in from other preservation schools or architecture schools. You could bring in interns over the summer that would get education in this and the history of the island, and also help with the organization of the materials.
Okay, very cool. All right, welcome to the stage, Michelle Kolb. I'll take this door.
Hi, I'm Michelle Kolb. Judges, how do you do? Audience, I'm here to talk about Salvage Nantucket, and it's a warehouse marketplace retailing resources, historic resources, salvaged and rescued from landfill. Currently, this business model does not exist on the island, And construction debris is an environmental issue, and it's accelerated by the demolition on the island. Nantucket is historically has been a salvage community. This is ingrained in the people, and we would look to further this idea. So Nantucket, as you know, is a very unique and unique island, unlike no other. The industry is heritage tourism. It's the largest living pre-Civil War community in the country. There are over 1,200 pre-1900 houses in the island, of which there are another 2,000, which are between 1900 and 1975, the new period of significance by the National Park Service, and we would look to salvage this material. I mean, you can see inherently up there, that's Dreamland Theater being floated over from Sherburne, the original town of the island, floated over, situated here, and here you are experiencing this restyled historic building. So why do we need this on the island? Because every year construction debris is dumped and taken off the island. That we can create this circular waste management stream, and actually preservation economics makes sense. There's 17,000 tons of debris each year taken off island. If we can salvage 25% of that, or 4,500 tons of debris at the cost of $372 a ton, that actually equals $1.7 million in savings to the town and to builders. And take this in beautiful historic interior, just here up on India Street. This is about 2,000 square foot house, completely gutted recently. No moldings, no trim, no plaster. Inherently, actually mildew-proof plaster is removed from the house. So this house equals about 111 tons of construction debris, and times are $372 per ton. That's about $40,000 in demolition dumping. So on the other side of it, on the retail side, if we take that same house at 111 tons times, say, approximately $100 a ton retail, that could equal about $1.6 million of gross profit, and with no cost of goods. And why do we need this? Because it saves in the landfill, it eliminates dumping costs, it's sustainable, and it preserves the rich heritage of the island. And how would we do this? We would do this in about a 1,500 to 3,000 square foot warehouse. We would have the contractors would actually bring the goods to the island, to the warehouse, because they would save on the dump fees. We would catalog it, rank it. We would have a website. We would advertise on social media, and we'd retail it to homeowners and businesses that would have readily available material here on island, historic material. And hopefully, we can change the mindset of the island to see the value in the beauty of the imperfections and the integrity of and authenticity of these items. And in addition, we have the education component. down the road, we might have a boutique store with specialty items in town. We would also maybe add salvage furniture and also products that would have made from repurposed materials. So take, for example, this 1855 Gothic revival house. Looking at it retained, recovered, and restyled could look like this. This is not your grandmother's old house. Or this 1747 fisherman's lean-to, retained, recovered, and restyled, could look like this and accommodate current day living. So this is really a team effort with the community, homeowners, builders, and my combined 30-plus years experience in architecture, interior design, and preservation. I'm committed, I'm a full-time resident and committed to the island, to preserving its architectural heritage. And I wanted to share with you judges. Let me share my 1757 map of Nantucket as to reinforce the value of salvaging Nantucket. An audience, on the way out, grab a carpenter's pencil as a reminder to salvage Nantucket. Thank you. Questions?
So I have a soft spot for what you're doing because I started out doing historic renovations in Boston and have done restorations here. But there are some challenges. Number one, the market today is being driven by people who want cool looking spaces. They want them to be crisp. They want to be minimalist. There's a very different aesthetic that is happening on interiors in Nantucket, and ye old ain't where the action is, and you'll notice all the new hotels, including ours, 1-800-Nantucket. So you're a little bit swimming against the tide from a taste standpoint. The second thing is the materials. Not all the materials are useful. I mean, some of them are, you know, a 30-year-old piece of molding is a 30-year-old piece of molding. If it gets too old, there may be lead considerations, but also in the demolition, they have to be, there is a cost in the demolition because they have to be very careful. If you have wide pine floors that are, you know, that you can't find anymore, the person who is demoing the space has to be very careful in how they remove these things. So I've given you kind of a mouthful here, but if you could start with addressing the taste side of Nantucket, which is clearly shifting from yesteryear to tomorrow.
Well, I think that's actually what I'm striving for, is to actually have the public recognize that it is a combination of the historic and the old and the new. I mean, otherwise, everything looks like Wayfair. I mean, we really... but I didn't mean that. Good company. But no, I definitely
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but there is definitely a value in having pieces that speak of heritage. Even in your hotels, you have a few select items that talk about somebody that's lived there, and there's been a sense of history about it. If you wipe all that out in the environment, it's cold, it's lifeless. These old houses have souls, and you know, we can salvage some part of that soul. So,
No argument.
And don't let Bruce speak for everyone. On this one, I can disagree with him. I think there are lots of people that do want that old heritage in their homes. Like, I look at all the pictures that you threw up there, and I want you to come and design my home. So, So
Gladly.
I'm in for that. So
Okay.
I mean, and this one I can disagree
Talk
with. Bruce.
later.
I mean, I guess my question is, so I happen to be doing a gut reno of my upstairs. My house is an 1850s barn, but my upstairs is like a camp dormitory, and nothing, I would have said absolutely nothing in the upstairs would need to be saved. When I took the doors down and took them to the Take It or Leave It, the woman who worked at the Take It or Leave It said, "Oh, I know somebody who turns these barn doors into signs. She does signs." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." So I sat on the board of the Preservation Trust for 7 years. So I definitely believe in preserving interiors. My question is, how does the business work? I'm doing a gut reno. Do I call you? How does it work?
Great question. It's either through my advertising, my flyers, my ad here in Dreamland every time you go see a movie, advertising at the Builders Association, going to the building department, finding out what permits are actually in the works, and contacting those people. That's how I would see.
But it's the homeowners that are contacting you, right? I'm just a little bit confused about how
I would reach out to the homeowner. If I knew somebody was beginning a renovation, I saw the permit, I would reach out to them. I would demonstrate the value of what they can save in the dump fees. I mean, the owners are paying these dump fees. And here, $40,000 you could save off your construction line if we can salvage some of this material. But Bruce, to your point in terms of the removal of these items, yes, it does require a little more skill and detail and patience. That is more time consuming, and we know that workers' costs are high here on the island, but we could actually educate and school a deconstruction crews that could go in and know exactly how to do it and be very efficient about doing it. And that's, I think, also a step
So
to
why is
that.
that
I mean, it's done in other cities. This is, salvaging and having warehouses.
And I will
and
say
there
this.
are ordinances, town ordinances, that actually require homeowners to pay if, in fact, they are demoing, just because of this issue with landfill.
What is working in your favor is the cost of materials now are so outrageous that, if you are able to reclaim things, I mean, the cost of a 2x4 is what used to be a piece of mahogany. I mean, it's nuts. So clearly, if you are able to properly remove things, the economic value of them has never been higher.
Correct.
So-
I mean, and the materials themselves, I mean, the density of wood historically is just completely different than what you're getting from the box stores. I mean, it's been here since 1700s, and not all of it needs to be removed.
Why wouldn't you do the demo? Like, why isn't that
Why
part?
wouldn't I do the demo?
Like, I mean, not like,
I
well,
could.
as part of the business, why wouldn't you start because
I-
there is an
you know-
expertise to it. There is a.
I could see educating a deconstruction crew and having that available. I think that could be a further extension of it. I mean, I think immediately the real need is to stop this material from going into landfill. That's like step one. I mean, I just saw the other day advertised on consignment, Facebook consignment, incredible federal style mantles, 2 of them taken out of an extraordinary historic house. And you really, as a preservationist, the first step is you have to ask, why would you even take that out? The idea is to really retain. But that's a great, I could see that as part of the education component.
So someone's paying for demo, so it's like if you can
Right,
figure out how to
get
make
hired
money
out.
from the other side, like you can maybe be a more profitable demo,
Right.
which then gets you the material.
That's actually
and-
very
yeah, so-
valid. Yeah. Good.
I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I got you, girl. I got you.
Yep.
got it.
Thank you. Here, I got this.
What's that? Come, ladies and gentlemen. These are kidding. These are skeletons. Look at your work. It's Okay, so salvage. There's another French word. I would know this. Salvage. It means salvation. The woman is trying to save Nantucket. Come on. So look, last year, in addition to Nantucket, Chris, we had a second place winner with a very different kind of pitch. Okay, it was called Nantucket Captain's Camp. So let's watch this brief video. Let's see what Catherine did to make that vision come to life this past August.
So last year, a little less than a year ago, I was in the pitch competition with the Chamber of Commerce to promote something called Captain's Camp. Since then, it's become a reality. It's not Captain's Camp anymore, it's evolved to a Captain's Academy, a young women's STEM camp that started 3 days ago here at Nantucket Marine. We have 8 young women from all the whaling captain capitals of yore. We have London, New Bedford, Nantucket, and then a sprinkling from some other New England states. And these young women have been here learning about the marine industry, aquaculture, mechanicals, and how to run a business. They're also going to start giving a small TED Talk at the Admiralty Club at the end of the session, and they're being helped by mentors from around the island. So with these STEM programs, the success rates in the universities for young women in STEM are far more successful when the women have a real career path in mind. And this program is showing actually real women who work in the marine industry and have a job, and they're learning from each of these women. We're partnering with people like Virginia Tech and MIT, and we are starting to have a feeder for their STEM programs. You want to stay on the right. Or what side is that?
It's starboard.
Yes! This is the beta test of our first Captain's Academy. It's going extremely well, and we're so happy. Today we were out doing a species study in Nantucket Harbor. The girls were all holding hands, snorkeling through the harbor together with their pink masks, and it's been incredible. And what I hope to do is, this is just 1 week this year. I hope to expand it so that it can be at least a month of education. We've had so many opportunities been provided by the people of this island. We've been on sailboats, we've had outreach from all of the the private clubs, from Mariah Mitchell, from Conservation Foundation, from the Maiden, who's a ship that all women manned in 1989 and raced around the world and won 2 legs, the first all-women skippered and crewed ship. And we've met with all of these incredible people, and we have so much to teach them, it could go much longer. How we can get these young women on this island and learn from all of these incredible experts like Sheila Lucy and commodores of the yacht clubs and people in the marine industry like myself. And our biggest challenge is always housing, and helping figure out how to solve that problem here on the island is very important. But I lastly want to say thank you to the Nantucket Pitch Competition, because this was in my mind, but now it's a reality.
Catherine, I think you're here tonight. Are you right here, darling? Anyway, congratulations for making that dream come true. Yeah, congratulations. Okay, so we are halfway through. So let's meet our next finalists. Now, they are people with a big dream for their very cool salsa with the best name ever. It's called Broke de Mouth. Boom, right? So now we're going to meet Nico and Amy Salsa and hear about their pitch. Let's watch the video first. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Nico Fix.
Hi, my name is Amy, and we are the founders of Broke de Mouth Salsa. So me and Nico met in Hawaii. We were both working at the same restaurant at the time. We're thinking about what's the next step here. We got engaged, and Nico got an offer at Great Harbor Yacht Club and asked me if I wanted to come along with him, and I said sure, and now we're here 3 years later, 3 kids later.
All right, so the way we came up with the name Broke the Mouth Salsa was when we were in Maui, the Hawaiians would use the word broke the mouth as in the food tastes really good. So we think the salsas broke the mouth really good. Yeah, so I started cooking in San Diego. My parents had restaurants, so I started in an Italian restaurant. And when I turned 17, I worked in a restaurant for a celebrity chef and ended up going to Napa Valley and working for Morimoto, and then on to French Laundry with Thomas Keller for 3.5 years, and now I'm here at Great Harbor Yacht Club as the head chef. So we actually have the salsa on the menu. We serve with our halibut tacos, fish tacos, and also our shrimp fra diavolo. It's one of our #1 selling dishes. So yesterday we had our final board dinner. It's kind of like a fine dining wine dinner. And the second course was Morzen corn flan with local tomatoes and charred corn. And on the bottom we used the fire roasted salsa, broke the mouth salsa.
What was the reaction?
Oh, people loved it. It broke their mouths. Yeah, so we work with Morzen Farm, Fogtown Farm, and Bartlett Farms. In our next products, we're gonna utilize the produce that they have available. And I'm a big believer in supporting the local farmers here at the Yacht Club, and as well with the salsa and maybe products in the future.
Yeah, we're thinking of expanding our line. So right now we just have our original salsa. And then we were thinking about moving on to like a creamy salsa verde, chimichurri, and...
Yeah, and I have like this jalapeno cilantro crema that I would put in a squeeze bottle for tacos. So right now I'm making a 200-pound batch of salsa once or twice a week, and that generates around 12 cases, so 144 jars, probably about twice a week. So we'll sell those jars in 1 week, and ideally we'd like to scale the product so we can sell to all the local markets in Massachusetts.
If we do win, the prize money would be used to co-pack our product, scale it a bit bigger, just because Nico makes it in smaller batches, and we would like to have it shelf stable and use their resources to help us do that and to get our cost of the jar a little lower.
So what do your kids think of the salsa?
So
they love it.
We have an 11-year-old that we adopted from Hawaii, a 2.5-year-old, and a 4-month-old that we've actually had on Nantucket. They're Nantucket natives. But the 11-year-old is trying new foods and spice levels, and he wants to put it on everything. He loves it.
Okay, let's meet Nico and Amy Fix. Here they come.
Hey, guys. Hey, Sharks. Hey, crowd. I'm Nico.
And I'm Amy.
Whoa, that's a lot of people. No pressure. And we're the co-founders of Broke the Mouth Salsa. First, we'd like to hand out the samples so you can enjoy while we do our pitch.
First, you'll see
Ladies
on
first.
the plate, we
You can
have
take that.
our salsa with chips. Then we have them on tacos. And lastly, on a fresh pasta dish.
Take that for you.
We see Broke the Mouth Salsa as a much larger brand and have plans for multiple additional products. At the top of your plate, you'll see some samples of the new product lines. We have, from left to right, an avocado, lime, and jalapeno crema. And we also have the creamy salsa verde.
As you can see from the video, we are building a delicious food brand with a core product that has tremendous market traction and is now ready to scale. First, we would like to talk about market feedback. Customers from the island and mainland Massachusetts and across the country have raved about the product. The salsa market is a $1.4 billion market.
As you know, there's so many different types of salsa on the market. The 3 points of uniqueness for our salsa is the creamy texture, the smoky flavor, and the versatility as it pairs well with so many different types of food.
We have been approached by many distributors asking to carry our salsa and future products.
Our production strategy is a two-pronged approach. First, we plan to have an on-island research and development and production facility to serve the local market and to develop our new products. Second, we have been in contact with multiple co-pack facilities off-island to have a larger production scale and to serve the customers across the country. But most importantly, we would like to partner with a co-pack facility to create a shelf-stable product so it does not require refrigeration. We do have a promising co-pack partner in Vermont willing to partner with us. Therefore, we expect a shelf-stable product by December of 2022.
With distribution, our approach is to start with specialty grocery stores on island and across Massachusetts. Then we'll look to distribute to neighboring states, still in specialty grocery stores. And lastly, to have it in a number of larger chain grocery stores.
If we are fortunate enough to win the prize money, the proceeds will be used to build our brand by solidifying our relationships with our co-pack partners both on island and off. Most co-pack facilities require an upfront investment for better production terms. Year to date, we have sold 122 cases or 1,400 jars. Since the resources on the island are limited, this number was difficult to produce.
So making the salsa after work until 1 in the morning and then jarring it a few hours later at 5 or 6 in the morning before operation hours just isn't feasible for us.
If we are able to partner with a co-pack facility, we would be able to scale. Here are our projections for the next 3 years. 2023, 200 to 500 cases. 2024, 500 to 1,000 cases. And 2025, 5,000 to 10,000 cases.
With the success of the last 3 months, it has been because of the local farms and utilizing their produce and seconds. Seconds are like the tomatoes that they can't sell in the stores, and we like to use them for our salsa. So special thanks to Aiden from Fogtown Farms, Abby from Moore's End Farm, and we appreciate what the Nantucket community has done for our company to get it to where it is today, including the local markets who have carried the product and the consumers. Special thanks to the Green Market, Meat and Fish, Bartlett Farms, Pip and Anchor, Born and Bred, Moore's End Farm, Concord Market, Nantucket, Great Harbor Yacht Club, and Nantucket Seafoods. Sharks, thank you so much, and we'd love to answer any questions you have. Thank you. Thank you.
I met you guys this summer at the farmer's market, and it really is our favorite salsa of all time. And I'm from Los Angeles, where you have a lot of salsas, so I think you have really crushed the product.
Thank you.
What do you see? Like, what's the cost of the what's the margin as you start to get the co-packer and get that out?
Yeah, so right now it costs us $4.10 to make. And if we were to go to a co-packer,
We're looking at about $2.60 to $3 a jar. So
with co-packer.
With a
And
co-packer.
obviously when you scale the jars, the price of the jars and everything goes down.
labels and everything.
And what's an average when you're selling against a premium salsa, like what do they sell for? Like a
So anywhere from like $5 to $8. So we are selling a little higher right now, but if we do get into that co-packing facility,
We could
we can
drop
drop the cost significantly.
So I just want to be clear, because I've never had this product before, and you guys can't see it, but this is the salsa, right?
Correct.
So the salsa doesn't look like other salsas, because other salsas are chunky and you can see the tomatoes and the peppers and the onions. This is a creamy, it's like, it almost looks like tomato sauce, but it
Right.
tastes like salsa, which I think is so fascinating. And so you can also, like you said, you served this as the base for the dish that you prepared for the fancy
Yes.
dinner. So you can use it really as an ingredient,
Yeah, it's very
whereas
versatile.
salsa. So let me ask you this question: do you think about including recipes with your product? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
sort of the way like Nantucket Nectars did the little caps. I mean, it would be
Yeah.
fun if each jar or had like
Yeah,
one
so-
of 3 recipes or whatever.
Absolutely. And the back of these labels, you can kind of see it here, but it shows what it goes really well, what it pairs with, and we also have a little paragraph at the bottom that says, you can do it with grilled chicken and steaks, or you can have it with your eggs in the morning. It's just good on everything.
Just my pitch at the farmer's
Yeah.
market.
But under the cap thing's fun. Like to do that again.
So, first of all, you, as a Great Harbor consumer, your food is terrific, and you are a very talented chef, and so you've got amazing credentials. My question is a market question. This is very crowded space. Shelf space in supermarkets is a battle.
Right.
And you can have the greatest product in the world, but if people don't, see it or can't find it, it really doesn't matter. How do you break out? How do you find a celebrity to endorse it? How do you cut through the clutter? Because it is a very, very competitive market for this category.
Yeah, I think our focus at the beginning would be local markets, just because we are using local ingredients. And then to get in on a larger scale, I think partnering with somebody that's already done it and that's already been very successful that would like to partner with us, we would be totally open to that as well.
Meaning like a bigger company would buy you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
that's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very,
But-
it's very, very delicious.
Like I said, when I go to the grocery store, I'll try products like these, and I know that I can make it better. I feel that I can make it better. And
did.
So just creating new things would be something that we would keep doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a tremendous sameness of these products. You see them at the market, and they all have the same color, they have the same consistency,
Yeah. Right.
and this clearly is different. But breaking through is what is the key here. Would this be considered a premium product, meaning it would be at Whole Foods and not at Stop and Shop? I mean, where do you draw the line with this?
Yeah, I think right now it's a premium product.
Yeah.
And if we were to scale it like massively, then it would obviously go into those bigger chains. And we can obviously get the price way down. So for now, it is a specialty product, I'd say. Yeah.
And so you're the co-packer that's happening. So you're going to be
Yes.
December.
Yes, so we, part of the money, if we were to win, we would go to the co-packer and we would do a trial run, basically, and it would be 300 to 400 pound batch. They would see how efficiently they can make it and how much they would be able to scale it, and they would come back to us with those numbers.
Have they given you what they need to really do it? Like what's the
Yes.
sustaining? Like what size is that? Like to the minimum?
So they're a small co-pack facility, and they do lots of startup companies. So that's why we're partnering with them, because they don't require a minimum.
So I would say first year, second year, we'd be able to use them. And the third year, if we wanted to go big, we'd have to go into
Move to
a
a more
bigger
Yeah.
commercial, like a
facility.
bigger
Right.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to raise one question that's probably a little sensitive with you guys, but have you done any focus groups regarding the name? I mean, you think you're going to break a tooth, or it's going to be so hot, or is there some...
Yeah, so...
He's off on the modern houses, and now you're off on the freaking
So you
thing.
can see
It's a great name.
Up in the corner, that's our original label. And recently, between we got on the Shark Tank and now, we've actually worked with Hayden's Nantucket Crisp labeling and branding company. And this is what they've come up with us.
I invested in Liquid Death.
Yeah.
Which is a water company. They just raised money at $700 million. So Bruce, if people don't worry about buying Liquid Death and drinking it, Broke the Mouth is fine.
We did get a little pushback from her about a name change, but...
No. Does anyone, okay, let's do this live survey, right? There's a lot of people here. So Broke the Mouth, anyone, who's negative on it? Okay. Who's positive on it? There we go. Live survey results are in.
You know, I advised you that ring thing would go nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks for that, Bruce.
Thank you. You can leave it. Thank you.
I knew they were going to take that taco away from me. You know how the judges get to eat and drink everything and the MC gets nothing? Wait. Besides raising 3 children and being the partner here, she's also managing Nantucket a couple doors down, so you can get this over there. Let's go for it. All right? I mean, you want to trade next year? Can I? Okay, so let's just say we have one more guy, and he's fantastic, okay? And the last pitch of the evening is from a young guy who wants to take this unique business that he has to the next level. Let's hear it from Brady Wilson about his business, Pamper. Let's watch the video.
My name is Brady Wilson. I'm the founder of Pamper. This is global headquarters where we are. And Pamper is a platform that connects travelers with local personal butlers who facilitate on-demand services for users while on vacation. And at Pamper, our main goal is to save users precious time while on vacation. We like to say that the one thing you can't get back in life is time, but you can start saving time when you use Pamper. As long as I can remember, my family has been coming to Nantucket in the summertime. In 2019, my parents actually got a home here in Nantucket and moved here full time, and they have welcomed me back in the summers. I've just graduated from Wake Forest University in 2021, and this is now my second summer after college, being here full time. Growing up, coming to Nantucket in my high school years, I've worked all across the service industry in restaurants across the island, retail stores. And I think that experience has not only demonstrated what the value of hard work is, but has also allowed me to develop an extensive network across this island, not only with people, but with vendors, and to really understand what are the demands of the typical clientele that is vacationing here in Nantucket in the summer months. I have always found tremendous joy in creating something, whether that be a physical product. And I say product, as a kid I didn't even know what a product was, but just creating something with my hands and then giving it to someone to provide them value. From an early age, I had several businesses, whether that was raising chickens in a suburban home in my backyard and selling those eggs door to door with one of my best friends. Also, we had a handmade pot holder business where we would literally weave just handmade oven mitts. And after school, every single day, my buddy and I would link up and we would knock on every single door in our hometown in New Jersey. So I had an opportunity during the first summer of the pandemic in 2020. And when I say opportunity, I mean I had no plan for the summer, but that created an opportunity to see that there was a demand for on-demand services to be provided to vacationers coming here during that first summer of COVID. No one wanted to go to the grocery store. No one wanted to do anything that was out in public, and that was an opportunity to see that services like groceries delivered to a rental home, sanitizing those items for clients before checking in would be of great value. Errand running here on island on Nantucket, and just kind of saying yes and trying to make things happen for requests that would be made. After those first 2 summers with my prior business, I realized that what is missing is a centralized platform where vacationers can trust and go to book certain types of concierge services. There are one-off concierge groups here on Nantucket, on Martha's Vineyard, on the Cape, in the Hamptons, everywhere, in all luxury markets. But there's not one platform that aggregates those types of services, that facilitates on-demand bookings, on-demand requests. But with Pamper, we have been able to create a very savvy, just modern type of platform that people are used to and should expect to have when they're on Nantucket. And that's the ability to book services on the fly. So if we were to win this pitch competition, we would love to invest these funds directly into our product. And that's going from website to mobile application. That's enhancing the features, that's taking in all the user feedback that we've gathered this summer. And eventually we want to get to the point where we are the intermediary, the highway that is facilitating bookings between vacationer, local concierge groups, local vendors, showcasing the unique experiences that a place like Nantucket has to offer.
Okay, please welcome Brady Wilson. Karen, do you have the clicker going? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mic's on. Everyone can hear me? You can't stop time, but you can start saving it. What's going on, everyone? My name is Brady Wilson, and I'm 24 years old. I've been coming to Nantucket my entire life, and 2 years ago, I actually added Nantucket to my driver's license, making this island my official home. I'm the founder and CEO at Pamper, and we simplify the logistics of daily life in vacation communities. Now, we launched Pamper just over 3 months ago, and we've already generated $350,000 in total revenue. Through our website, we have driven over $200,000 of sales to businesses all over this island. And since our launch, we've saved our customers, travelers, homeowners, and business owners, a combined 2,000 hours of their valuable time. Now, what exactly are we saving our customers time on? Well, when any of you think about what it's like to manage daily tasks and logistics on Nantucket during the peak season, it feels like this. It actually also feels like this. And you guessed it, it feels like this. Now let's drive this point home just a little further. And to do that, I would like to paint some other common frustrations that I think we all can relate to when it comes to the busiest months that we experience here on Nantucket. So let's start with our travelers who are coming to the island for a week or two. They oftentimes are wasting those first precious hours of vacation stocking up on the essential grocery items while also clogging up the aisles of Stop and Shop. Now let's talk about our homeowners who oftentimes ask themselves in the early mornings, do I really want to go wait in that Wicked Island bakery line just to try and get my hands on that last cold morning bun? Now let's talk about our business owners who time and time again are accepting bookings over the phone, scribbling down customer credit card information on a loose leaf piece of paper, and then chasing down those customers weeks later to coop their outstanding invoices. Folks, this is inefficient. This lacks any sort of security and is just a waste of your time. At Pamper, we empower all of our customers to begin managing their time more efficiently so they can start spending more time focusing on what is important to them or their business. Now, we do this through our online booking platform, and it is here where travelers can stop clogging up the aisles of Stop and Shop and instead send Pamper to go grab their grocery essentials for them. It is here where homeowners can avoid the early morning traffic here on Nantucket and instead send Pamper to go wait in those cumbersome Wicked Island type lines for them. And folks, it is here where business owners across all industries can showcase their service offerings through our online marketplace and completely digitize the way that they accept new bookings, communicate with new customers, and receive payment for their services in real time. Now, for members of the community who are interested in joining the Pamper team, we welcome anyone ages 18 to 80, seriously, to easily sign up and begin enjoying high-earning yet flexible work opportunities that fit with your schedule. Now, let me tell you why we are not Instacart and why we are not DoorDash. At Pamper, our competitive advantage is built around trust. That's off the coast of Washington Pond. So for travelers and homeowners, our system is actually designed to pair the same courier to every request that you make through our platform so that the next time you're expecting Pamper and your video doorbell rings, Jamie, you will be greeted with a friendly and familiar face. I guarantee it every time. In fact, over 50% of our paying customers who have used Pamper more than 5 times are attributing their recurring orders to the meaningful relationships and sense of trust they have with their assigned Pamper courier. So to show all of you how this works, we're going to do a little live demonstration. And it is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce you to one of our highest performing, most dedicated Pamper couriers in the field today. Her name is Kendra. So, Kendra is a fellow Wake Forest alumnus, go Demon Deacons. She is a proud Labradoodle owner and an avid supporter of the game of golf, who now spends most of her daily life out here on Nantucket. When Kendra is not on the links, she actually finds true joy in saving others precious time. So much so that she has agreed to help us with a request that just came in hot from the panel of judges. Because maybe, Bruce, you were a little short-staffed one weekend and needed someone to go drop off flowers to the rooms of your hotel guests. Or maybe, Ellen, you wanted to have a cooler filled with your go-to vino, snacks, and favorite island sandwiches and delivered to your car out on Smith Point for the day. Or maybe Jamie just wanted to have his home filled with his family's go-to grocery essentials prior to your weekend arrival. And I don't blame him, because folks, Pamper and Kendra clearly never miss. Let's give it up for Kendra. So how do we make money from all this? We operate on 2 revenue streams, and the first being for on-demand requests that are submitted through our platform. We impose a dynamic hourly pricing model, and that just varies based on the type of request made. Now, for bookings made through our online marketplace, we take a % commission per booking from the partnered business. Ladies and gentlemen, let's review. So what is Pamper? Pamper simplifies the logistics of daily life in vacation communities. We are providing high-earning and flexible work opportunities to members of the area ages 18 to 80, and we have driven over $200,000 of sales to businesses all over this island and have saved our customers over 2,000 hours of their valuable time. We've achieved these milestones in just over the past 3 months. So imagine what is possible over the next 3 years. Because by now, I hope it is clear to everyone here how real Pamper is and how much more Pamper can become. Tonight, we are so excited just to have the opportunity to share our story with all of you and to compete for a cash prize, which we would love to invest directly into the development of our mobile application, which will allow our business to become more efficient, but also our services much more accessible to all of you here and to our growing customer base. So to end, I will ask the audience and the panel of judges, are you ready to start taking back your leisure time? Wait, we're not done. Hold on. Because you can't stop time. but you can start saving it. For anyone interested in learning more about Pamper and where we're headed, please come find me afterwards. Thank you so much.
So I'm kind of scratching my head here. This is an island of people who want to rough it. You know, they want to change their own oil in their Land Rovers. They want to mow their own lawn. They want to make their own candles out
Bruce,
of
you are
beeswax.
so on it today.
I think this is an insanely good idea. I mean, you've absolutely nailed it. That people on this island have certain excesses that are hard to describe. But the one thing that you cannot create is time, and the cost sensitivity of people at a certain strata here is essentially zero. So I think you're onto something that is terrific. My question is, because I'm absolutely convinced for Nantucket it works. There's Aspen, there's Palm Beach, there's there are other Nantuckets around the country. You may have touched on this, but has this been developed to this degree in other markets, and is this something you can roll out nationally?
There's definitely, so some competitors that would be closest to us would be Hello Alfred, which operates in urban markets. They go after residential buildings and try to take all the tenants, and they essentially have a butler who services those tenants. But to have an on-demand platform that you can book help on the fly or showcase local services and book what they have to offer through a platform is what we're trying to build. And
so would your point of differentiation being that you focus on just super high-end markets, or
the strategy is to focus on super high-end markets in the short run, and whether that's a regional expansion or going to some of the areas that you mentioned. But eventually, we see this coming down to not just the ultra high-end markets, but to a lot of vacation communities around the country.
Okay, so let's talk about Nantucket, though, because this is so interesting, and I have so many thoughts, and I'm already writing a novel about this. So you mentioned the groceries, and you mentioned waiting for the morning buns, right? Which I totally feel you. Can you get me dinner reservations? I mean, how, you're picking up my dry cleaning,
No, that's a common request to
I'm sure it
concierge
is,
groups, right?
and you can't, or
the only way that works is if we could pre-book X amount of tables certain nights of the week for the whole summer, and would be really complicated to do. But what we tried doing this summer was going out of our way to hammer Lola 40 times, or go wait in line at whatever restaurant, or just search Resi. So for that time, we would put our card down and say to the customer, "Hey, we'll take we're going to impose like a 10% markup on your dinner bill," and that's how we'll get compensated for our services. That didn't really go over too well. So
dinner reservations really aren't on the. They're not on the.
Not really, and
No.
I don't think we want to dive into that just yet.
My next question is about the service. So, as Bruce pointed out, a lot of this, I'm not going to make any generalizations, but a lot of the summer population, they have a ton of money. They want it now.
Yep.
You're dealing with 18-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids, or 18 to 80, whatever. There is going to be some friction and some tears, I'm guessing. The person asked for purple carrots from Bartlett Farm. They got orange carrots. There's a lot of screaming. How do you train?
Yeah. I know that happened at my house. How did you
How are you training?
We've got plenty of these reps experience that have happened, but to start, we had a core group this summer that came in early June, and that was really just 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of June, we spent every day, having a couple test customers who would fire off requests, and we would iron out kinks in our system, and I would just go through with them and teach them the experience that I had. Everything is about presentation and communication. If there's something that's wrong in an order, as long as you communicate it, you're probably going to be able to figure out, how to solve that issue. And I think a lot of times with customers that, if there's items that are missing, they would much rather just be told up front and then try to figure out a substitute item. What can happen is if there's a large grocery order and there's one person on top of it, then that could probably lead to some tears. That's definitely happened before, where it's taking a couple hours. But communication, I would say, is the best tool to have.
I mean, the morning bun thing is so intriguing to me because, of course, they only make 30 at a time, and you could get 6. So when you do you send somebody there at 5:30 in the morning to wait?
Usually, I would probably be the early guy going to Wicked Island. They know me by name, and one of them eventually asked me, "Do you work for a company, or like why are you here every day?" Because we had clients that we would deliver, pastries to every single morning.
So, and can you still, can I get on the client list for that? Or what would be
100%. Yeah.
What's the process?
You just got to sign up.
I guess that's not a question. The one thing on these businesses, and I think it's sort of easy to scale up a little bit, but then you hit this wall because it like humans, it's like we know this on this island. Like the one thing we might have a lot of people that want to spend money. We don't necessarily have people that want to take it because there's just not enough people. And that's huge problem this summer, right? Like there was restaurants that certainly would have liked to have served more. Sometimes tables were open and you say, well, why can't you sit me there? They say, we don't have people. And so I guess the one thing that I'd like to understand more is how do you leverage the technology to make sure that you're getting the most out of, so you can, sometimes pay more or whatever to get that to scale.
Short term, we want to continue investing in labor and recruiting college kids and local members to participate. But in the long run, we want our tech to empower local concierge groups who already have established companies, local recreational spots like Nantucket Baby or Easy Riders, who actually perform the delivery of those bikes or the delivery of those baby goods. And we merely serve as just the platform, the highway that is connecting the user to the business. So right now, we're going to keep bringing in our labor, and we're going to keep investing in that. But once we can get that flywheel going, then I think we would really leverage the outsourcing other businesses to actually execute on those services.
Cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah, look, labor and housing are the most difficult elements here. And I think, as a consumer, sign me up. To operate this business is a little more complex, and you can charge a real premium for this because 100%. Especially in high-end markets. But the devil's in the details, and but you can do this. There are so many categories. There's a certain experience in waiting in line at the Downy Flake. However, having it delivered might not be the worst thing in the world. Right. And there's almost everything on Nantucket.
I wonder if Juice Bar tastes the same if you don't wait in line. Maybe it's actually not good ice cream. Maybe you eat it, you're like,
I think it melts, Jamie.
It's so good after that line. Maybe that's what's I don't know.
Good. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Brady Wilson. Brady Wilson, enfant terrible. To go back to our French. Okay, guess what? That's it. So those are our 4 contestants. Now the judges have a tough job ahead of them. They're going to take a break. They're going to figure out who's going to take home what. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission. We're going to maybe head to the lobby and get a wine or a beer or a popcorn, something like that. Mingle, see your friends, see you in 10 minutes.
Or it could be delivered to your chair.
Oh! Thank you, Bruce. Yes, we'll have it delivered to your chair. Just call Brady.
Five minutes later.
And everybody, if you don't mind, you don't have to sit, but maybe you'll just pay attention. Here we go. The judges. Yeah, thank you for coming to pay attention here. Here we are. The decisions have been made. I'm going to introduce you. You don't have to sit if you don't want to. You can stand on the side, whatever you want to do, but here we go. So I'm going to introduce Karen McCumber again, who runs the Nantucket Island Center for Entrepreneurship. who produces all of this and organizes everything behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Karen. And you have some good news for us. You have a winner.
We have money.
Okay, we have money.
We have big checks.
All right, so how would you like to do it? Is this the first here?
That is the first one
All right, I'll
there.
just keep it away from the audience. It's going to Snow White. No, go ahead.
First is
Okay, so the first prize goes last first. The judges are right. We want to build suspense. Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we're just going to read this upside down. Okay, so the two second runner-ups, that is, who each did a fantastic job, they are Pamper and Salvage Nantucket. Here we go. Salvage Nantucket, this is Michelle Kolb. Congratulations, Michelle. Congratulations. Brady Wilson, congratulations, brother. Awesome. No, don't leave, stay. Please stay on stage with us. Never leave. Okay, we know who the second prize is, so we might as well say the first right away, right? But how about the second prize people come up first? And I say people because it's not people. It's Santi, Ocean Brew. Please come. Congratulations. Fantastic. Well, I guess we know who won. It's the Broke the Mouth crew. Come on up. Amy. Come on. Come on up, Nico. All right. Come on over here. Step right in there. Congratulations. Do you have any last comments? All great, right? The judges, you know, there's no black eyes, but believe me, there was heated discussion. So, I mean, do you have anything you want to say at the end, how you came to this or what it was like? It was just not easy, right?
All great. You were amazing. All great.
All great. Thank you, everybody. So let me just say before you go, you too have entrepreneurial spirit, and so you now know what to do with it. You come find the Nantucket Island Center for Entrepreneurship at the Chamber of Commerce. You reach out to Karen. You send her, an email, right? And what's the email address? Karen@nantucketchamber.org. If you are interested in investing in one of these companies, you can also go to Karen, and then these people can get a direct influx of funds. And so dreams come true at the Dreamland. Thank you, our judges, and thank you. Good night. See you next year.